everybody! I know it's been a while, but this is going to be the look that we're going to do a tutorial on today. So just in the spirit of Valentine's Day and February coming up, I decided to do just something pink and fun, kind of like a flirty, laid back, not too bold Valentine's Day look. So I did this the other day. I did this on Thursday, this look for work, and I got a request to film a tutorial, so here I am. This is using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. I absolutely love this palette. The shades in this palette are absolutely fantastic, and right away when I was thinking of the concept of this look that I wanted to do, this was the first palette that came to mind. So this is how it turned out. Yay! So, I know that I haven't been on here very much. I have been focusing more on my Pampered Chef business and having a lot of fun with that. So my filming and going live and things like that have been all on my group page. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, it is Nornen's World of Pampered Chef on Facebook. I will post the link below, and then also a link to my website if you guys want to take a look. And yeah. Anyway, I will stop blabbering. If you guys want to see the tutorial for this look, then keep on watching. Tis quite the gloomy day outside today. But it feels good. Coffee. Let's start off with a primer. I am going to use my Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. I really have a bag for this, and I don't know why. Because y'all know I love my Urban Decay. Rub this on in. I don't think I needed as much as I grabbed. Oh, it feels so silky soft. That is good to go. I am going to grab my LA Girl Pro Concealer in green just to cover up some redness that I got going on, because you can see I got this little bugger hiding over here. Rude. So, just going to pop that over those red areas. And I just like to blend this out with my finger. I get messy with my makeup. So for my foundation, I am going to use my Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in 3W1 Tawny. Now, this is a little bit darker for my complexion right now, but once I put, my pressed powder on to cover it, then it evens out the color. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to mix my Versali Skin Tune Blur Serum with it. And for that, I just use this here, which is the insert to the Rose Gold Remastered palette by Huda Beauty. So as you can see, it has been greatly used. So I'm just going to pour the foundation on here and then squirt some of this on there, and then we'll be good to go on that. Okay, so I have my foundation right there, and I'm just going to, kids walking around the house, just put the Skin Tune Blur right on top of that, and then I'm just going to dab it and mix it with my finger. So with doing my foundation this way, I found it better to put it on here and then dot it on my face, and then use my my Beauty Blender, as the Beauty Blender is not going to soak up as much, but it comes in handy to do it that way when I've poured too much, so then I feel like I'm not wasting anything. And that Skin Tune stuff smells so good. Like, it smells like floral and herbs. Like good natural stuff is what it smells like. Okay, I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and just blend in that foundation. So now that I have that, I am going to grab my setting powder, and this is the It Celebration Foundation in medium. So this is just the, whoa, digging my nail in there. So this is just the pressed powder, and I'm going to use a Coastal Scents brush, number 3 in my brush roll. It's just a flat top brush, like kabuki style. And first I'm going to press it into the skin, and then after I've pressed in the foundation on my face, then I'm going to start in sweeping circular motions around my face just to give it that more like airbrushed effect. Okay, so now that that is all pressed in, I'm going to go over the areas in a circular motion just to give that kind of airbrushed effect. Okay, now I'm going to grab my Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in light and medium, and I'm going to put this all in the areas that we want to highlight our face. So I'm going to set this under my eyes, on the bridge of my nose, and the tip of my nose, in the center of the forehead, Cupid's bow, chin, and the other eye there. And then blend this with a beauty sponge. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to put some translucent powder over it. So I have the Pretty Vulgar powder that I got in my BoxyCharm. So I usually use my Kat Von D Lock-It translucent powder, but I'm going to use this and see how this works. I still have a few different things from my BoxyCharms, and I haven't used any of my BoxyLux stuff. I'm like so behind on this shit. It's insane. Like, see, look at this. This is still unopened. I'm so behind on my beauty stuff. Oh, shit. Glad I'm wearing jeans. I was doing my makeup for work one day, and I had a dress on, and I literally took this robe and I like draped it over my lap and then put it up here and tied it around me so that I didn't get powder and stuff all over my dress. The things we do. Alright. It looks very nice, like a really fine, angle you down here a little bit, but very, very fine powder. That's nice. Let's see how it does. I'm just going to use my my damp beauty blender, dip that right in, and set. We're going to bake the areas that we highlighted. So I'm just pressing it right in. I'm getting powder all over my lap. I love the consistency of this powder. This is nice. We're literally putting this everywhere that we put that concealer. And this is just going to highlight certain areas of her face. Alright, so for contour, if you like to, you can put on a cream base and then put powder over it. That's what I'm going to go on ahead and do today. So I'm going to use my LA Pro Concealer, and this is in Toast, and I'm going to put this on first, and then we're going to put a powder over that. So I'm going to use my IT Cosmetics. This is the Airbrush Complexion Perfection number 115 brush. So it is an angled flat top kabuki brush, and I think that this brush works really well on using this. Again, the Coastal Scents one would also work. Personally, when it comes to like if you're just starting out with doing your makeup and everything, because I know all the stuff that I use and everything is fairly expensive, and it's I love all the, you know, prestige brands and everything. If you're just starting out with your makeup and you just want like a good starter thing, then I would say BH Cosmetics. Their brushes are absolutely fantastic, and so are their eyeshadow palettes. Those were literally that BH Cosmetics and Coastal Scents are the two makeup brands that I started off on. Really, really great for, you know, just starting. Really great pricing for all of their stuff. Plus, I know that BH Cosmetics especially has deals going on all the time. So I think I ended up getting, and Coastal Scents. So Coastal Scents, I ended up getting a really big brush roll of like, I think it was like 25 or 30 brushes. That was on sale for like 20 bucks, which is insane considering the fact that most brushes that you'll find are $20 on their own. So really, really great deal on that. So I jumped on that. But yeah, those are really, really great starter brushes. I still have brushes from BH Cosmetics from when I first, like my first ever brush roll set. I love them, and they're getting so old and so frayed and so dried out that I really just can't use them anymore, but I just can't get rid of them, you know? They're so amazing. And then I am going to highlight just this top area of my forehead. I don't generally go around my whole forehead like most people when they do their makeup and everything. They highlight all the way around. So as you can see, I have these areas of my hairline that go in and then around. So because of that, I mean, my hair is just, it comes in enough on the sides that I just don't feel like contouring the sides. I just don't think that it's needed for my face shape, at least not my forehead. So, but if you have like a more rounded forehead and everything, then you can of course go all the way around. Okay, and then now I'm going to go ahead and contour my nose. So for that, I'm going to wipe away all of the powder. I have this e.l.f. pointed foundation brush, which is really, really nice for this. I like using this brush for that because it has an area that is flatter on one side, so I like to just use that to get in the corners and get underneath my eyes. Wipe all of that away. And now I'm going to take this and just lightly go along the sides of my nose and then across that little bridge right there. This is pretty much just giving us a good base for when we put the powder over it. Of course, you don't have to do this. If you want to just go straight into the powder, that's fine also. I just find that it lasts longer when I do it this way. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Cocoa Contour by Too Faced, and I'm going to use this top contour shade right here, and this crown brush doesn't have a name or anything. It came in one of the boxy charms, but it's just a really fluffy brush, a domed fluffy brush, and just dip that right in, tap off the excess, and then just start in the upper corners because I want the most color up here, and then go down. Now for some blush. So I have a few favorites. So some of my favorite blushes is the Benefit Coralista. This is like one of the most universally flattering type of shades, I think. And then another one that I like to use is my palette. This is by Coastal Scents, and this is a 26 shadow blush palette. So I love using this and having a palette like this for something like blushes or something like contour, because throughout the year your complexion is going to change. So in the summer you're going to get darker because of the sun, and then you're going to get lighter in the winter. So I like having a palette of blushes so that I will have a shade of blush for whatever time of the year. So I like to use these bottom two. So sometimes I will use just this one, other times I like to mix the two. So I'm going to take my Coastal Scents blush brush, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and dip in both of them today. Just kind of swirl, tap, and then just lightly dust that over my cheeks. It's super easy to go a little bit overboard with when it comes to the blush, so I like to go really, really light with the brush to start, and then I'll pat it down. And then I'm going to keep this brush handy for when it comes to the highlight. So for the highlight, I am first going to take this Benefit What's Up little highlight stick right here. So I like using this as a base for my powder highlight. So I will stick it on the upper part of my cheekbones, and a little bit on the bridge of my nose, and then above my Cupid's bow. Then again, this is kind of like the same thing that we did, and I'll blend it out with my fingers. So this is kind of like the same thing that we did with that contour, is when we put the liquid down before we put a powder over. Again, you don't have to do this. I just like to do this with my makeup. I just blend it out with my finger. So the highlight that I use most often is this one by ColourPop, and it is called Lunch Money. I still have yet to find a good brush that applies this. So I'll pat it in place. See how it just goes on a lot better. I will pat that in place and then just blend it out with my finger. Oh yeah, that applied a lot better with the finger. Go over the side. And then the bridge of the nose, right at the tip, and just over the Cupid's bow. All right, and then keeping that blush brush handy. I don't know if you could tell, like it's just a really like defined line of where I put it, so I just like to take my blush brush and just kind of blend the two together. All right, so now we are done with that part, so let's get on with the brows. So the brows, I go back and forth between my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown. I do love to use this. This just takes more patience on my end, and sometimes I just don't want to take that much time to do my brows. And other times I will use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz pencil, and I have this in the shade Ebony. I prefer using dark brown. Ebony was the first one that I got. It's just slightly too dark, but it's passable. So I will also use this color as well. But I did get a brow pencil in my last BoxyCharm, so I am going to grab that actually and use that. So this is by BDB, Billion Dollar Brows, a universal brow pencil. So this is what it looks like. It's double-ended. I think most brow pencils kind of are. They'll come with this spoolie on one side, and then it'll have the actual pencil on the other side. This looks a little light, so I'm wondering if maybe if I press down a little bit harder, then it'll be a little bit darker. We shall see. Because as you can tell, I have some fairly dark brows. Okay. Very creamy. I actually really like that because the ABH brow pencil, it's very small, and when I use it and I press down on it, it's like really got to press down on it in order to get a significant, or at least I do. I really have to press down on it in order to get like significant color payoff. So I'm just going to use small strokes. I don't really fill in the inner part too much, as those are already pretty filled with her, so I just leave those alone. I don't think this color's too bad. Nope. Okay, not too worried about getting the shape perfect. I am not at all an expert when it comes to filling in the brows. They are still only sisters and not twins every single time that I do them, and this brow is like the worst one. I hate doing this one. So like the shape of it, as opposed to this one, really dips under and goes over. So getting the actual shape quite right is just kind of a pain. I really like this brow pencil. Like, this is a winner. I really like this. Billion Dollar Brows. Boom. I am digging it. Okay, so now I'm just going to brush through the hairs before I put my setting gel. So honestly, ABH is really just the queen of brows, brow products in general, which is why I have like almost every single form of brow products that they have. So this is their clear brow gel. So I'm going to brush this through, and my brow hairs are very thick, unruly. So a lot of times they like to just go bing, bing, bing in random places. So I use this brow gel to keep those hairs in place. So this brushes through your brow hairs and then will harden, not like harden like a heavy duty hairspray or something like that, but kind of. It's like Dove hairspray. You ever use Dove hairspray as opposed to like Aussie or something like that? It doesn't make your hair crunchy at all, but it keeps it in place. It's nice and sturdy, but it doesn't feel super hard and crunchy, which I like that. Now, before I do the brow gel is when I usually take my concealer and I'll outline them just to clean up the edges and stuff, but I got too excited and I already put in the clear brow gel. So I am going to take my Tarte Shape Tape, so the same one that I used to highlight my face, and I'm just going to take the brush, and this is the brush that I'm using. It's literally just a random brush from a random brush set that I got from Wish. It was a free brush set, so I'm just using one of the double-ended brushes here, so you can use the smaller one or the fatter one. I like to use the fatter one. I have some big brow space, so I am just going to take this and just clean up those edges, which I think this is like the first time ever that I didn't have to do a crap ton of actual cleaning up of my edges. Because usually it gets a little crazy. So sometimes I'll end up getting the concealer like too high and into the actual brow gel and then just mess up the pencil. So I would just take the pencil and go back in, and that's the reason why I wait before I do the brow gel, because once you put the brow gel in there, it's kind of like a hardened top coat where it's going to be a little bit difficult to add in some more product. I am super impressed with this pencil. I like it. I'm very happy. So now we are done with that, with the brows. I'm getting faster at this, guys. Usually take forever to do my brows. That may have seemed like forever, but that was not forever, I promise you. Okay, so now we're going to get into the eye look, which is my favorite part. I love the eye stuff. So I'm going to prime my eyes with my Urban Decay Primer Potion. As always, this is in Eden. So this is their matte formula. They have their original formula, matte formula. They also have a shimmer formula. I forgot what the name of that one was. And I don't know, I just feel like whether I'm using mattes or shimmers, this is just a really good base for either one. So I just stick with this one. And I'm just patting this, going all on the lid, all the way up to my brows, because I am going to be putting eyeshadow literally all over my eyes, all the way up to my brows. So I want to make sure that the entire eye area is primed. And then just use my finger to blend that out. So the first time that I did this look, I was able to actually do a small wing. Now, I have issues with that. I never used to. Seriously, never used to have issues with that. But all of a sudden, in my adulthood, when I do a freaking wing liner, I just want to be like, bam, wing, like it's huge. and stuff, like a really, really big wing. And I don't mean to every single time. It's just the way that it always ends up happening. See, it was really, really easy to do the smaller wings when Smashbox had their always sharp eyeliners. And those, I don't know if you guys have ever seen those. I don't think that they have them anymore. But they had a sharpener. I'm not exactly sure when that clicked off. But I don't know if you guys have seen the Smashbox always sharp eyeliners. But they had a sharpener in the lid, so every time you closed it, you just listen for the click, and then that tells you that it sharpened it. So it literally every single time that you opened it, it was always sharp and ready to go. And it had a really good shape to the tip to where it was really easy to control it and get a nice like small wing. So I really, really like that, but I really don't think that they have them out anymore. If they do, I'm gonna go get one. I miss those. Those are like my favorite pencil liner ever. Alright, so now that we have that, we are going to take our Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. I swear, this video is not sponsored by ABH, I promise. I'm not that big on YouTube. So this is what the palette looks like, and oh my gosh, as soon as I first saw these shades, I was in love. Like, these shades are just gorgeous. So the shades that we are going to be using today are Love, Passion, and Wild Child for the lid. So I literally just used 4 brushes for this. I have a big fluffy brush. This is a Sigma E25 blending brush. I have this Luxie 229 tapered blending brush. My tried and true, trusted, whatever you want to call it. My amazing Sunny Kashik blending brush, which is one of the ones that I have had since the beginning, and it is so dried and so frayed, and it hurts sometimes to use it, but I can't help but use it. And then my BH Cosmetics brush. This is also one of my ride or dies that I have been using since the beginning of my makeup love passion. Since it started, this is literally, I only use this for one thing. I use this for my brow highlight, and that's it. So, first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take my Sigma E25 blending brush, and I'm going to go into this rosy shade Love, and we are going to place this on the outer to the upper crease. And I'm going to bring it up a little bit higher because this is going to be the color that I want to kind of peek over the top. So I'm just going to dip that in here and just start blending. So I'm going to start with going to use a very, very light hand. I'm going to go a little bit heavier when it comes to the actual crease area because that is where I really want the color to start to build. So I'm going to press in a little bit harder in this crease area and go in circular blending motions. And then once I have that color placed there, I'm going to go a little bit above and then have a very lighter hand. And we're going to do some more blending. This look calls for lots and lots of blending. So lighter hand and just blending outwards. Most eye looks have a base amount of 3 to 4 shades. You'll have a light shade that goes into, more like a medium shade that goes into your crease area like this. A darker shade that's going to give dimension to your eyes, which goes mainly in the crease area, blends up a little bit, so it's not going to blend up as much as this type of color. And then you have your lighter shade that's going to go on your lid, so that's like your base of 3 colors, and then you're going to have a brow highlight that's going to go up at the top, which is generally like a neutral, brightening tannish white, off-white shade is mostly the type of shade that people are going to use for that. So depending on your skin tone is going to determine which shade you're going to use for that brow highlight. But it is going to be a lighter shade and not one with, typically not one with an actual color to it other than like a white or off-white. Generally you want the main colors that you have on your eye to be the focus when looking at you. Okay, so we're done with that. Place that shade, so now we're good to go. So now I'm going to use my Luxie 229 tapered blending brush for the darker shade that we're going to use to deepen up the crease and give some depth to the look. And excuse me, I chose this brush because it's a more dense brush, so it's going to really hold on that color and be really useful packing in the color, which is what I want to do in terms of placing the shade within the crease area, which is the main focal point of where I want it. And then that is when I'll go in with my Sony Kashuk blending brush to blend it out. So I don't want to lose this really light pink shade that we have going on. So it's really easy to do that if you have the wrong type of brush. So that's why I chose this smaller, more dense brush, because then it'll pack in the color exactly where I place the brush. And it gives me more control. So we're going to go into the shade Passion, which is this deep maroon brownish shade here. And I'm just going to dip the very tip of my brush into that and then tap off that excess. And then right now I'm more focused on placing the color where I want it. So I'm not really worried about blending right now. I just want to place that color in the crease area where I want it. So I want this we're going to create a C shape on the outer corner. So again, I'm more just packing in this color here. And then once I have it packed in, then I'm just going to do my circular motions. Pick up a little bit more color, and then just keep building until the shade is how I want it. And then once I have that placed on that outer crease, I'm going to pack it into the upper crease. Again, like purposefully guiding exactly where I want it, which is within the actual crease area first before blending it up. So it's a lot easier to do looks like these when you have more time and patience if you're not used to doing this kind of thing. So this is one of those looks that is easiest to do when you just have some downtime and you're just practicing. So, and this is if you're like just starting and just kind of want to play around and everything. So once the kiddos go to bed and things like that. So you see how you can still see that lighter pink kind of peeking over the top here, and then this darker shade is more controlled in the inner crease area. That is what we want. And then of course, sometimes when you're blending and things, you're going to lose a few shades, which is fine. We'll just go back into those and then replace everything. So I'm keeping this brush down, kind of sitting on my eye and going into the crease. And this is just going to keep it lower. Push that in just to get more of that shade in there. Okay. Go on to the other eye and then get everything placed so that we can just start blending away. Okay, so now that that is in there, I'm going to take my Sony Kashuk blending brush and I'm just going to blend those top edges of this shade. I want to continue to have that color deeply concentrated within the crease, so I don't really want to blend that area. So I'm going to stick to the outer parts of where that shade is and then kind of blend that and merge it into that lighter pink shade that we put on earlier. And with this brush, I did not place any product on it. No eyeshadow shade or anything. I'm going in clean. doing this kind of brushes away the harsh edges and brings out that first color a lot easier and a lot more, blending it together. And then at this point, when looking at it, you can gauge on whether you have to go back in with that lighter shade or not. So I am going to go on ahead and do that, and I'm going to concentrate it on the upper crease area, just placing the shade again, and then we're going to blend. Just because I really want this shade to pop out. So then once I place that, go back in, just wipe the brush on my hand, go back in with that blending brush, and then just blend those edges. Now you can blend or not blend as much as you want. This is all based on how you want this look to look like how you want it to turn out. Tailor it to your eye shape, tailor it to your makeup like in terms of looks. There's no wrong way to do your makeup. Okay, so I pretty much have that the way that I would like it. So I am going to go into the lid color. So the lid color, we are going to use Wild Child. Now for this shade, this is like this top row is mostly like foil type shades. So the best way to apply these would be with a wet brush or a damp brush. And the way you could do that is that you use setting spray. I have a few different ones. Most people go for their MAC Fix Plus. I have a Cover FX one here, Urban Decay. You can use whatever type of setting spray that you want. Just spritz your brush and then go into, and with these you generally want like a dense flat eyeshadow brush to apply these. So you'll just spray it first, dip that into the eyeshadow, and then start applying. I am going to go on ahead and use my finger. The warmth of my finger is going to really bring out that foil type texture, and then just place it onto my, like directly onto my eyelid. So literally just dipping my finger directly into it so you can see the shade right there. And then I'm just going to place it right onto my eye. So the difference that I find with the eye, doing it with your finger rather than a brush that has the your setting powder, like your setting spray on it first to set it, is that your finger is going to give it more of like the natural shade, like a natural dusting of the color. Whereas if you were to use the Fix Plus or your setting spray and then go into it, it's going to really pop out as that foil shade. You're really going to see it very intensely. And I know, you know, a lot of people like having their shades like that. I just want to go for a more natural type of shimmer on my lid, so that is the reason that I am going in with my finger rather than wetting the brush. You don't want the lid to be too intense. Okay, and then I'm just taking this out mostly to the corner, so about 2/3 of the way. I don't want to cover the entire crease, outer crease color. We are going to go back in with that same color though. So if you do, it is fine. And this part also is just to your liking. So you can pack on until the color is satisfactory to how you want it. So it's a really easy look, no fancy techniques. Nothing like that. It's just a matter of practicing. If you're not used to doing something like this every day, don't get frustrated. I know that sometimes, you know, when following a tutorial, it can be very, very easy to be like, well, I did exactly what they did and it didn't turn out the same way. A lot of it is getting used to the tools that you have and how they work. Getting used to the eyeshadows, the products that you have and how they work best. and then getting used to your own face and your own eye shape and how all of those come together. So it is really just practice. So don't get discouraged. Just keep practicing, you'll get it. You'll be good. All right, so now that I have that lid color placed, I'm going to go back in with the Luxie brush that has that darker shade Passion on it, and I'm not putting any additional coloring on it yet. I am just going to go over the area that this shade was placed and then blend that back into the crease and just kind of marry it with that lid color that we placed. So you might need to add more color, might not. So first I like to just blend the lid color and that crease color together and then kind of see where it's at and see if I feel the need to add more depth. Okay, so that is the way that I want it. It is blended the way that I like it. So now I'm going to do my brow highlight. So I'm going to take my BH Cosmetics brush and I'm just going to use this shade in the palette called Base. And dip the very tip of that and then pat that onto the upper brow. First placing the color and then I will blend color out. So I'm taking the tip of the brush to place the shade and then I'm going to angle it more to the side and then blend it into that pink shade. So we are done with the shadows. So now finishing touches. So eyeliner and mascara. I'm not going to put on falsies today. I kind of want a more natural type look. So I'm going to grab my eyeliner that I used the last time, which was my Kat Von D Dagger Tattoo Liner. So this liner actually has an angle to it, which I think is really helpful for wing liners. So I am going to be very quiet when doing this, and I'm going to pull you in closer, angle you down a little bit so that you can see better of what I'm doing. I'm going to totally take my time with this. This also takes a lot of practice. There is a product out there that is called the Quick Flick, which has a stamp on one end that is a wing, and then an actual liner part kind of like this on the other end to be able to fill in the rest. So you literally just stamp the wing on and then you fill in the rest of it with the other side. So if you're not good at doing wings or anything like that, there is that product out there, and a lot of different beauty gurus love that product, and I've seen them use it and it looks like it works like a dream. So if you would rather not take the time to learn how to do a wing free-handed, there is that out there for you. Now, that didn't exist for a while, so as you know, starting makeup years ago, I very, very rarely do I ever not do a wing liner. I don't like the way that my eyes look without a wing liner with my makeup, so I generally will always do a wing liner. So because of that, I got pretty good at freehanding my wing liner, and I want to try the Quick Flick, but I don't want to lose that talent. So I will continue to use my regular eyeliners and freehand my wings. I might try it just to give a review and see how it works, but I don't want to get used to using that. But if you're not really good at doing that, you don't have steady hands or anything, that is a really neat tool that is out there. Let me lift you back up, bring you out a little bit. Oh man, oh, my coffee. Okay, so now I will drop everything. Now I'm going to take my eyelash curlers, curl my lashes. I think I will try a different mascara, which is really hard for me to do when I am unsure of how good they are, because if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm very, very, very picky and particular about my mascaras. So, I usually go for, like, my favorite all time is my Benefit Bad Gal Lash, the original, not the other version of it that came out. I did not like that at all. I will try this Grande Mascara Lash Boosting Formula. I got this in a BoxyCharm, and I actually think that I used this the last time and I was really happy with it. So, oh, no, I don't think I used this the last time. I would have remembered that. It has a lot of product that came out there. So I'm really scared that it's going to give me spider lashes, and I don't like spider lashes. I'm just gonna run the excess off, because just in case, I don't want to overdo it. All right, let's see how it goes. At all. Just gonna take off, seeing all that excess mascara there. Just run that off with my fingers. And it does not do very well at holding your curl. I'm just going to leave it. The deed is done, and it's not horrible. So, all right, I'm going to wash this off, and then we'll come back and put on our lipstick. All right, so after washing that mess off, something that I did off camera was that I put a lip scrub on my lips. You generally want to do that before you put on any lipstick. That's going to take off any dead skin cells that you have on your lips, and it's going to help with the application of your lipstick and help it to look better and smoother throughout the day. So that is what I did. Okay, and then I'm also going to put on a lip primer. So I have the Bite Beauty Lip Primer. Where did I put it? There it is. And I think it's just called the lip primer. Line and Define Lip Primer Base Contour. So it's just a plain old liner. And this is good for filling in the gaps of your lips so that your lipstick doesn't sink right into the grooves. I have some hella grooves in my lips, so I like it. Okay, and then the lipstick that we're going to use is a Dose of Colors. So I currently have just 2 shades, and I need to get more because I got these as a Christmas gift from my best friend, and I was so excited. And these are the first Dose of Colors lipsticks that I've ever owned, and I love them both so much. The formula is actually really, really great. It feels nice and silky. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I absolutely rant and rave about the Tarte lip paints. I absolutely love that formula. They feel so comfortable. They also feel like satin on your lips. So awesome. These are very comparable. I absolutely love this formula as well. Very, very close second, if not right on the same line. So this shade that I am using is called Lazy Daisy. So it's just a very neutral mauve color. So I just stick with the natural grooves of my lips. I don't overline my lips or anything. I actually love my lip shape, so I keep it to that. And this is the finished look. Let me go ahead and put her down. I have no idea how I'm going to wear my hair for today. Alright, setting spray. I'm going to use my Cover FX Illuminating Setting Spray. I just love the mist on this. I do. Feels very luxurious. I like it. Hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. I will... Like I said, I'm really into my Pampered Chef business, so I haven't been on YouTube or Instagram very often doing different makeup looks. I'm going to try to do them more often. I will be gone and out of the country for a little while, so I won't be able to do tutorials and things like that at that time, but I'll be focusing even more on my business. So if you are interested in looking at what I do with Pampered Chef, I have a group page that I will link down below, and it is called Nornen's World of Pampered Chef, and I like to go live, make dinners, I'll share recipes, product stuff, and everything, and why I love what I do. So if you're interested in checking that out, or just want to shop online for some kitchen stuff, or ask me any questions, then click on the group page down below, send in a request, and I'll approve it, and we can have some fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I will see you guys in my next one.